Hey folks, it's Denver with Three Waters Kayaks, and today we're going to be installing this new Beaver tail rudder on a Big Fish 120. So let's get started. Here are all the parts included to install your Beaver tail rudder. However, you will need the following tools. First thing we're going to do is remove the standard footrest. Locate the screws holding them in place and unscrew. Once complete, they should pop right off. Next up, we are going to add the adjustment bolt for the rudder cable to the footrest. Then feed the cable through the adjuster. Now we are ready to attach the new footrest and tow pivots. In some cases, the threaded inserts on your kayak may not line up directly with the footrest, so you will need to install the included bracket first and attach the footrest to it. Otherwise, simply screw the new footrest into place. If the bracket is needed, you will find there are 3 different screws that are included with the kit. One short, one slightly longer, and a machine screw. The machine screw goes into the recessed hole, the long screw goes towards the bow of the kayak, and the short screw towards the stern. Once you're finished with this side, repeat the process on the other side. Next, we are going to install the tow pivots to the footrest. We need to install the metal springs first, making sure the lip fits into the slot. Once they snap into place, you're ready to add the tow pivots. It should snap into place firmly if done correctly. Now we're going to feed the rudder cable through the small area on the underside of the footrest, like so. Once the wire is pulled through, we will wrap it around the tow pivot and into the channel on the top of the footrest. To ensure everything is lined up properly, tape both of the tow pivots perfectly vertical. Check to be sure you don't have any frayed edges on your wire before moving to the next step, or the cable will bind up inside the tubing. Now feed the cable through the rudder tube towards the stern of the kayak. It should pop out the other end. If your kayak was set up for a hand control, meaning the tube exit points are offset, continue watching as we install the foot control rudder tubes. If your tubes are not offset, you can proceed to the next step now. To remove the hand control rudder tube and replace with a foot control tube, start by removing the rod holder on the side that you will be replacing. This will allow access to the hand control rudder tube for removal. Ensure that you have located the hand control tube and not the UPHALL cord, then cut. Now pull and remove the tube that you cut from both locations where it exits the kayak. Once the hand control tubing is removed, you will need to drill the hole for the new foot control tube in the same location as the other side of the kayak. Now insert the new tubing into the hole and push towards the rod holder opening. Now insert the new tubing into this hole and push towards the rod holder opening. With a wire coat hanger, you can remove the tube from the hole as shown. After the end of the tubing is pulled out of the hole, you can move to the stern of the kayak. Using a piece of 8-gauge solid copper wire that can be found at your local hardware store, insert the wire from the stern of the kayak where the original tube was located and pull out of the rod holder hole also. Place the wire inside the tube and tape the two pieces together. Now, gently use the copper wire to pull the tubing through the kayak and exit the rear. Once the tubing is exposed, pull and stretch using a pair of pliers. Cut the tubing, leaving approximately 2 inches. Heat the tube and insert the end fitting. Now push into place as shown. Lastly, reinstall the rod holder. Now we are going to move to the back of the kayak to install the rudder. Start with a thicker plastic washer and place it on top of the opening at the rear of the boat. Then slide the rudder over the handle. Next, take the other plastic washer and set it on the bottom of the rudder pin hole on the bottom side of the handle. Insert the pin as shown through the rudder, the washers, and the boat until it makes contact with the screw in the top of the rudder. Screw the pin into the top of the rudder housing until it's snug and drop the rudder down. Next, take the small pins and insert them into the holes on the pin to prevent the rudder from being able to slide up and down. Now it's time to connect all of the pieces and get the cable connected to the rudder. First, thread the cable through the heat shrink and add the crimp. Wrap the cable around the eyelet as shown and back into the crimp. Set the assembled cable over the holes on the rudder and make sure that the length is correct. Now, crimp the cables into place and trim off any excess. Use a lighter to heat the shrink tube around the connection point on both sides. Insert the pin from the bottom of the rudder and place the newly assembled cable over the pin. Then, simply add the split ring to hold everything in place. Next up, we will install the UPHALL cord and cleat. Start by threading the cord attached to the rudder through the series of rollers as shown. Then feed the cord through the center tube at the back of the kayak. It should pop out of the tubing on the left side of the kayak near the seat. Next, we will install the cleat to the kayak. You will need to drill 2 pilot holes before installing the screws. Then, simply screw the cleat into place. Now, feed the string through the cleat and attach the plastic ball. Tie your favorite knot to hold in place. Now you can control the rudder. Okay, so that's the install video. I hope it was helpful. For more information regarding accessories in a dealer near you, please check out 3waterskayaks.com. Thanks for watching.